Hey everyone, if you're running a NAS and you're tired of slow file transfers or constant buffering when multiple people are accessing the same files, you might be wondering if the Western Digital 4TB WD Red SN700 SSD is actually worth the upgrade. I've been testing this drive in my own setup for a few weeks now, and I've got to say, it's made a noticeable difference. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, this isn't your average SSD. It's specifically designed for NAS systems, which means it's built to handle the constant read/write demands of multiple users at once. I've got a Plex server running on my NAS, and before this drive, streaming 4K content to two different TVs at the same time would sometimes stutter. After swapping in the WD Red SN700, those stutters are gone. The drive's Gen 3 PCIe interface and up to 3,400 megabytes per second speeds really help keep everything smooth, even when the NAS is under heavy load. Another thing I love about this drive is how reliable it is. NAS systems are always on, and that constant activity can wear out regular SSDs pretty quickly. But the WD Red SN700 is purpose-built for this kind of workload. It's tested to handle the endurance requirements of NAS environments, so you're not constantly worrying about replacing it. I've also been running virtual machines off my NAS lately, and the SN700 handles those workloads without breaking a sweat. If you're someone who does collaborative editing or runs multiple VMs, this drive is a solid choice. Capacity is another big win here. At 4 terabytes, you've got plenty of space for media files, backups, or even running multiple applications without running low. I've filled up about half the drive so far, and I still feel like I've got room to grow. Plus, the M.2 2280 form factor makes it easy to install, even if you're not super tech-savvy. Just pop it into the slot, and you're good to go. One thing to keep in mind is that this drive is Gen 3, not Gen 4. If your NAS supports Gen 4, you might not be getting the absolute fastest speeds possible, but for most NAS setups, Gen 3 is still plenty fast. Also, while the SN700 is reliable, it's not the cheapest SSD out there. If you're on a tight budget, you might want to weigh the cost against your needs. All in all, if you're running a NAS and you want to boost performance without dealing with constant slowdowns, the Western Digital 4TB WD Red SN700 is a great pick. It's fast, reliable, and built for the kind of workloads NAS systems handle every day. If you're curious, you can check out the link below to see the latest price and details. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Western Digital 4TB WD Red SN700 NVMe internal solid-state drive SSD for NAS devices Gen 3 PCIe, M.2 2280, up to 3,400 megabytes per second WDS400T1 R0C sounds impressive on paper. But whether strengths like robust system responsiveness and exceptional I/O performance and tackle NAS workloads with exceptional reliability and endurance actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. What stands out about Western Digital 4TB WD Red SN700 NVMe internal solid-state drive SSD for NAS devices Gen 3 PCIe, M.2 2280, up to 3,400 megabytes per second WDS400T1 R0C is how it seems positioned for buyers who want something practical, easy to understand, and worthwhile beyond the first impression. That usually matters more than flashy marketing because long-term satisfaction comes from how well the product fits your actual routine, priorities, and expectations once you start using it regularly. In real use, details like robust system responsiveness and exceptional I/O performance, tackle NAS workloads with exceptional reliability and endurance, tame tough projects like virtualization and collaborative editing are often the points that shape whether a product feels convenient, dependable, and worth the money after the excitement of opening the box wears off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Western Digital 4TB WD Red SN700 NVMe internal solid-state drive SSD for NAS devices Gen 3 PCIe, M.2 up to 3,400 megabytes per second. WDS 400T1R0C usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.